Are you looking for the perfect books to read this fall? Whether you want something cozy, spooky, or downright terrifying, I have the perfect list for you. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elena, and here we talk about all kinds of books. I love spooky season, but it always feels so short. We really only have September and October. Once November 1st hits, we're already getting ready for the holidays. So what are spooky season reads all about? I think there are really three main categories of books that I like to read during this time of year. They're cozy books that you want to just cuddle up under a blanket and feel good and read something cute. Sometimes I want something scary, but also I want a little bit of dark romance. Spooky season reads can be about witches, ghosts, vampires. I love when there's magic, fantasy, or if it's just creepy and horror-y. There are a few books that I've read recently that I would really recommend reading during this season, as well as a ton on my TBR that I plan to read this fall. I'll start with the three that I've already read and are tried and true spooky season faves. Obviously, there's Phantasma. This is dark, gothic, and romantic. It's set in New Orleans, which is already spooky. There are ghosts and devils, and really a deeper dive into the hierarchy of paranormal beings, which is really fun. The main character is a necromancer and speaks to ghosts. Keep in mind that this book is spicy. Next, I have one of my all-time faves and possibly one of my top 2025 books, When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. I have a spoiler-free review of this on my channel, and this might be my absolute favorite horror book ever. The main theme of this book is fear and the role that fear plays in our lives. It's a really unique story, and I highly, highly recommend this one. The last one that I've already read but would still recommend to you this spooky season is What Hunger by Katherine Dang. The story is told from the perspective of a 14-year-old girl who suddenly has an intense, insatiable craving for raw meat. Obviously, cannibalism is a major theme here, but it's not a cannibal recipe book, really. It's more like a coming-of-age story about an angsty teen girl that's really hungry, but she's also going through real-life issues like grief and dealing with generational trauma from first-generation immigrant parents. This is creepy, but it's also so entertaining, and it really keeps you at the edge of your seat. A lot of my really fun horror picks come from Aardvark book subscription. If you haven't heard of it already, I do a comparison of Book of the Month and Aardvark book subscriptions on my channel. Both services offer a monthly selection of about 5 to 7 different titles. They have pretty different picks, but it's a great way to discover new releases and potentially debut authors. Let's talk about the TBR because the TBR is growing, and I need to get started on these right away to get through this whole list. We're going to start with our cozy reads. This one book I've had actually for a while, but I've been saving it for fall because summertime isn't really the time for cozy witchy reads. A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping has been described as a hug in a book, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. It's supposed to be soft, cozy, whimsical, funny, and apparently there's a room at this inn that rains tea. Books about witches are perfect for spooky season. I haven't read the other book by this same author, but I've heard really great things about it. Also, how cute is this cover? Doesn't it make you just want to get under a blanket with a hot cup of tea and this book? I have one more book in this category, and it's one that I randomly picked up at a bookstore recently that looked super fun and cozy. It's called The Grimoire Grammar School, say that 3 times fast, Parent-Teacher Association. It has really cute sprayed edges too. It's about a kindergartner that gets bit by a werewolf, so now she has to go to this magical school and her parents have to navigate this magical community all of a sudden. It has high-stakes parental politics, and I'm here for it. This book is about supernatural chaos from the perspective of a non-magical mom. My kids are little and just started school. I'm thinking of joining the parent council, so I was thinking this would be a fun, fitting read for this season. Let's move on to dark romance. Tourist Season is coming out September 23rd. It's by Brynne Weaver, who is the author of the Ruinous Love trilogy. Think Butcher and Blackbird. There's a small town vibe, a serial killer romance, enemies to lovers trope. This is a dark romance with humor. I'm really excited to pick this one up as soon as it comes out. Next, we have the Scared Sexy Novellas. These are special releases on Amazon Prime and Kindle Unlimited. Essentially, it's 6 novellas by romance authors that fit the spooky vibe. We have Hot for Slayer by Ali Hazelwood, Vampire Slayer, Falling by Christina Lauren, about a seductive immortal, Spicy Little Curses by J.T. Geissinger, A Tattoo Artist's Family Secrets, Space Vampire by Ruby Dixon. I've never read anything by this author and I'm not really sure how to describe this book, but I'm pretty much sold on the title Space Vampire. Beautiful Nightmare by Katie Robert. Something something sleep paralysis demon. And lastly, My Boyfriends Are All Monsters by Kimberly Lemming. You can get more information on these 6 novellas in the description of this video. I don't like to read too much of a synopsis in books in general, but especially novellas because they're so short. I prefer to go into books blind, and I definitely want to be surprised with these 6. I've read books by 3 of these authors, so I'm excited to read their new novellas, but also to discover new authors here. Apparently, some of these authors and Amazon do something similar for Christmas and Valentine's Day as well, but I've never read those ones. Some of the reviews don't look so hot, but I have very high hopes here. Next, let's do horror. I recently got these and they're brand new releases. The first one is Play Nice by Rachel Harrison. I love a good haunted house book, as long as I'm not reading it in the dark, home alone. It's about a content creator and stylist who recently inherited her childhood home. Her mom kind of went a little crazy in this house, and her siblings all think it's haunted. Will the main character revisit her childhood trauma, or will she have amazing home makeover content? Only time will tell. This is a highly anticipated release, and I was really surprised that Book of the Month carried it, since Book of the Month usually doesn't do a ton of horror. The second horror novel that I want to read this fall is The Possession of Alba Diaz. It's by Isabel Canas, a Mexican-American author. I have never read a possession book. I'm not a horror movie kind of girl, but I love to read horror. You couldn't pay me to watch The Exorcist, it's just not going to happen. But reading about demonic possession, I'm in. The main character is a Mexican heiress that flees her hometown with her family and her fiancé following the plague. It's set in the 1700s. Apparently there's some romance in here, so I really don't know how the author is going to spin a possession with romance, but I need to find out. I have one more book on my TBR, and I'm really trying to keep it realistic and not overload my list. I still want to be able to enjoy my books and not feel like I'm on a tight deadline. This next book, I couldn't really categorize into cozy, dark romance, or horror. It's kind of on its own, and I would say it's just fantasy. Hemlock and Silver by T.Kingfisher. I've never read anything by this author, but I've heard really great things, so I'm excited to finally give it a shot. This is a dark retelling of Snow White. I love reading about magic, I love fairy tales, and I love a dark retelling of fairy tales. That's my spooky stack for the season, and honestly, I'm both excited and a little bit scared. Let me know what's on your spooky season TBR and whether you'll be adding any of these picks onto it as well. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll be sure to post updates about some of these spooky reads. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you again soon. Ooh.